Here's an uncomfortable question. What if the policy that's supposed to help the poor is the exact reason they can't find an apartment? Thomas Sowell asked questions like that for 600 pages in Basic Economics, and the answers aren't what either political side wants to hear. Start with the basics. Sowell defines economics as the study of scarce resources that have alternative uses. Scarcity isn't a poverty problem, it's a universal one. Even billionaires run out of time. Every society on Earth, capitalist or socialist, has to decide who gets what. That decision happens whether anyone admits it or not. So how does a system make that call without a central planner micromanaging every transaction on the planet? The answer is simple: prices. Sowell calls them messengers. A price tag isn't just a number, it's compressed information telling you how scarce something is relative to how badly people want it. Raise the price of lumber and somehow, without a memo being sent, builders quietly start using less of it. Nobody ordered that. The price did the talking. That's supply and demand, and it's less complicated than economists make it sound. People buy more when things are cheap, less when they're expensive. Producers do the opposite. Mess with that balance and you don't get a fix, you get consequences. Take rent control, the question we open with. It sounds compassionate: cap the price, protect the tenant. But cap a price below where it would naturally land, and you manufacture a shortage. Demand rises because rent feels cheap. Supply shrinks because landlords stop wanting to provide it. Sowell points to post-World War II cities where the actual physical supply of housing went up, and people still couldn't find a place to live, because rent control made space so artificially cheap that people used more of it than they actually needed. Generous intention, brutal result. Minimum wage runs the exact same trick on labor. Force the price of work above where the market would set it, and you create a surplus nobody wants to buy, which is just a polite way of saying unemployment, concentrated among the very workers the law claimed to protect. Here's where Sowell gets genuinely uncomfortable to agree with. Profits and losses aren't a moral scoreboard. They're feedback. Profit is the reward for finding a cheaper way to give people what they want. Loss is the punishment for wasting resources on something nobody wants. Take losses out of the equation, and bad ideas never die. They just keep eating resources forever, propped up by good intentions instead of good results. Pay follows the same cold logic. Your wage isn't a verdict on your worth as a human being. It reflects your productivity. And productivity depends heavily on things you don't control, like the tools around you. Hand someone a bulldozer instead of a shovel, and suddenly the same person with the same effort moves 100 times more dirt. The market isn't paying you, it's paying your output. Now, the statistic that fools almost everyone: the rich get richer, the poor get poorer. Sowell points out that's usually tracking income brackets, not actual human beings. Most people start at the bottom, that's literally what an entry-level job is, and climb as they gain experience. Follow real individuals over years instead of frozen brackets, and the story flips. The people who started poorest often post the biggest gains of anyone. International trade gets the same myth treatment. It feels like a zero-sum fight, a winner and a loser. Sowell argues it's the opposite. Both sides gain by specializing in what they're relatively best at and trading for the rest. That's called comparative advantage. And it's why a planet of specialists ends up richer than a planet of self-sufficient generalists ever could. But the sharpest idea in the whole book might be this: there are no solutions, only trade-offs. Politicians talk about needs as if they're absolute and non-negotiable. Economics says nothing is. Meet one need and you've just created an unmet need somewhere else. You've moved the scarcity, not erased it. The next politician who promises to fix the economy probably means it. Unfortunately, they just never read past the first chapter of Basic Economics by Thomas Sowell.